Who do you expect or hope to be the central focus under the new executive producer? Since Chris Clenshaw's final episodes air next week, I'm wondering who everyone else thinks will end up being the central family. As we know, there's always one. I know nothing about Ben Whitey, so I can't really guess what's likely to be interesting in following. Just have a feeling the next family to take center stage for a while would be the Brannan, or they have the Beanans. Yeah, I love the Binans. Sorry, I don't mean to rag on you. I'm dyslexic. I can't spell either. I butchered the intro the first time around. Just let me have this
Well,
moment, alright?
also, I'll make like a little admin note. Obviously, this video is coming out the Monday after the episodes after Chris Clenshaw's episodes have ended. So
Yeah, so if the Binans have returned, I'm sorry. Uh, but this is by Chloe Darling, so let me just continue. You're all right, Chloe. We don't mind the spelling errors. I'm just going to call them the Binans from now on. They're funny in my eyes. Jack and his kids are so underutilized, and Amy's actress is old enough to have some hard-hitting storylines. I have hope
yeah.
they'll recast Ricky too. Don't recast Ricky. He's useless and I love him. Too, and have him actually be a real character and maybe some storyline to do with fighting the Slayers for custody. Since obviously Stacey is leaving, I'm not sure what that means for Lily and Charlie. Um, Maybe with the return of Max, is that bit confirmed? Kind of, and not
Not
really.
officially, no.
No.
It's
Uh,
it's leaked, but it's not confirmed by EastEnders.
uh,
Yeah, but then it's seemingly the Ben Wadey MO where it's like, wow, it's been leaked. Hey actor, what do you think about Max's return? Oh well, it would be really exciting, wouldn't it? But we don't know. It's like, yeah, you do. Stop
yeah.
lying to us.
Um, and Oscar, we can really get into the Brannans again, even if it's just brief. The past few years have been very Slater heavy, kind of, but not really. With all of Stacey's storylines, I've had a resurgence of the Mitchells too. I'd like to see. I gotta click read more. I'd like to see the Mitchells too. Or the resurgence of the Mitchells too. I'd like to see the Mitchells continue to be very relevant. But I'm a tiny bit slated out as much as I do love them. Gonna need a rejig of the Knights and Carters, but it seems like that's happening anyway after that spoiler they accidentally posted to TikTok. I need our Linda to actually have a place on the show again.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. This is an interesting topic, right? Because when not some people would never have seen an executive producer change, right? My brother never seen the new executive producer take charge of a show. So obviously you do get a bunch of axings, and the axings so far, or the axing and people leaving, like Stacey quitting, uh, Bobby Brazier. Let's be honest, he got fired. He didn't. His contract's not getting renewed. You have Bernie Felix gone. And it's going to be interesting to see what Ben Way does. Because one thing that was interesting to say is I think it was kind of openly told that Ben Wadey created the Panasars as a family. That was his family that he introduced and like kind of put forward all the plans and the ideas. So, maybe Vinny still sticks around in this case. Maybe that's why Vinny's not gone. We're getting to see the returns of Zoe Slater, big character. With Stacey leaving, we're gonna need someone to take that big kind of focal point that Stacey leads. Stacey does leave a big hole. Will Zoe be able to fill it? Max Branning. The Brannings have been slowly rebuilt over the last couple of years. Now with Max kind of at the helm, is there a chance that now Max, does he want to be King of Walford? Because Phil's not there anymore. Phil's not the King of Walford anymore. Does he want to take some advice from old Derek Brannon before he passed? Look at us. Is he going to reestablish himself as the head of the Brannons? We have who else has been Ben Mitchell as well. The Mitchells also needed a couple more members, a couple more people to bounce off of. Now we get to see the new Mitchells take on Ben. We get to see Ben and see because he probably will be back for a long-term return. Let's be honest. So we get to see that. And the one thing I will say is I do think the Panasars will be a big bit. If Vinny was gone, we probably would have seen it announced by now. Let's be honest. Like Callum clearly wasn't axed for a reason, and the reason is now known. So Vinny's probably not getting axed because the Panasars may be another important piece. Maybe we will see like an Ash return to bring back what Ben Wadey initially wanted the family to be.
Kira?
So we can imagine the Panasars.
Said Kira, possibly?
I mean, he is in prison for life.
I mean, yeah, but so was Nish.
Yeah.
And so was Ben Mitchell for 8 years.
Well,
So.
he was only for like 5 years or something. But yeah, I do think the Panasars will be a big piece of the story, but that's just off like one little bit of information. I hope that I wouldn't mind a little bit of crime. I know I've kind of been very on the record saying I hate EastEnders when it's crime centric, but I don't hate it if you actually have genuine, legit players like in the crime, like doing it. You know, like if Phil does go back into crime, you know, maybe I'm in. If we do get the more crime centric Ben Mitchell, probably not going to be a big fan. But you know, if we get Teddy, for example, we get Teddy and Nicola, like kind of trying to rebuild this empire, fucking sure. Absolutely, that sounds interesting. But we also need the people to be leading the crime and gangster stories to actually be legit. You know, get Ravi in there. You know, some more interesting characters to take this more darker edge. I don't necessarily want it, but I could absolutely, you know, be willing to see it. But you have to do a lot of the work. You can't just add Aidan Maguire in there and go, "Oh yeah, you excited for this?" No, I'm not. I do think the brandings are going to be a big focus, especially with. There's one observation my brother made as well, where he just went, "Huh." So George and Elaine are once again having marriage troubles, and we obviously have that big sign above the Vic saying it's up for auction. You know, is this the end of Elaine with the Knights? Is the Linda and Elaine like Knight family? Is it over? Is it over for them? Are they gonna leave? Is Elaine gonna leave? I did get a bit worried for my favorite character, Elaine. I did get a bit worried that she may be gone because, you know, what does she do if not be a landlady? That's a whole shtick. That's all she's got. But I don't know. There's a lot of exciting stuff to think about. I wouldn't say it's been too Slater heavy because it's been Stacey heavy. It's been Stacey heavy for sure, but Kat has been. She's on the side of a milk carton at this point. She's only really just been dusted off at the end. Like, and you know, Freddie had storylines before he left to do Strictly, but since he came back, he's done the square root of fuck all. So I won't really say it's Slater centric. I'd say it's been very Knight centric. It's been very Beale centric, and it's been very who else? Just Mitchell's been very Mitchell heavy. So I obviously, I suppose if we just are treating it like a wish list, though, I do want relationships to be more important under this new era. I don't think there's been other than the obvious Sookie and Eve, which has a bit more of a barrier to entry because to get into the Sookie and Eve fandom, you do have to like walk through legions of fans who will hate you if you say you don't really like Eve that much. They will fight you. But my issue with Chris Glenshaw is a lot of his interesting relationships he only really remembers a relationship when there's a problem. Because it's like, oh, are they happy? They just live together, they're just chilling. Oh no, we actually want to see them be in love. What about when there's a problem? Yeah, there's a problem, let's go, let's right in this problem. We love it when there's a problem. How else do you bloody write relationships anyway? That felt like a huge, like, grey spot on this Chris Glenshaw, like, era. Because it's like, do you want to see Sookie and Eve happy? Yeah? Well, are you going to? At the wedding? Like, Jesus, don't be giving too much away. Christ.
Not even at the
What
wedding.
do you reckon about this? Yeah.
My favourite bit about the Chris Glenshaw era is, like, the relationship. Well, not my favourite bit, but it's just funny because it's like, I'll bring the microphone up a bit closer. It's like, these characters, they're in a happy relationship. No, they're not. They hate each other now. Like, one thing that annoyed me, and I know it was probably new writing or it was just different writing, it's just been characters who are hypocritical to each other. Harvey, how dare you cheat on Jean? While also she's not giving you attention, which allows you to cheat on her.
By Cat Slater.
Yeah, by Cat Slater. And Alfie also, I was going to say raw dogging, not raw dogging, that's wrong. Also, like, just dog piling on top of Harvey. Like, yeah, who cheats? And I'm like, you had a kid with another Slater. that we don't mention because the actress is a piece of shit. But still, we don't mention for obvious reasons. But like, come on, that was one thing that always annoyed me, and it still annoys me. Because if I see like any character being like, "You cheated, wow, wow, look at him, Mister Cheater, man," I was like, yeah, but didn't you do the same thing 20 years ago? Different time, different time. AI photoshopped. Um, I do want to hopefully see the Tommy and Joe storyline continue. Cause I don't really want it to be like, I'm just gonna call it the Tate brothers because it's essentially gonna be the Tate brothers that they're watching. Let's be fucking honest. It's not gonna be bloody fucking Mr. Piggy, man. It's gonna be a fucking Tate brothers. Obviously, like, I don't want it to be, oh, this is bad. Blah, blah, blah. I actually want to see them dive into Tommy being like, because what's the word? It's not really like it's not really like being mind. It's being mind warped in a sense, but it
It's
depends.
kind of, I tell you, you could probably use a term like radicalized, where you're
Yeah,
being convinced a belief that you wouldn't necessarily hold, but like through time, you're just seeing more and more, and you just kind of go, oh, but it all makes sense then. No.
yeah, kind of radicalized, like you said. Yeah, because to me, you can't really be like, oh, this is bad. You do have to show like, I'm just gonna call them dumbasses when dumbasses listen to like their Tate brothers. Obviously, like you listen to us, you're not dumbasses. Cheeky plug.
Yeah, we also don't bleed horrendously toxic beliefs.
Yeah. My only toxic belief is that I want to be dominated by a trans woman while they dress as Jar Jar Binks. So there's that. But like, yeah, I want to see that storyline like progress. I just don't want it to be like, oh, it happened over. Like, I genuinely want to see a woman beat the shit, like a woman their age, beat the shit out of them for being like, you're an idiot. Why do you believe this? I do want to see a more continuation of Kat and Alfie. I haven't watched this week's episodes as the time of recording this, but I know Kat's unhappy with. Apparently, apparently this wasn't an ordinary porn video. As apparently this was like a fucking not the levels of a suburban film. Apparently not that level, but kind of like a more hardcore.
Oh, graphic.
Yeah, graphic in the sense of it's not that violent, but it is like fucking horrific. Apparently,
It makes sense why you would pay for it then.
Like from what I can,
they would pay for it, not
From what I can gather, because apparently from the spoilers, I said if this video was a bit more hardcore, and I'm like, fair enough, because there is. If you didn't know, there is levels to porn. There's normal, tiny bit graphic. There's a bit more graphic. There's a bit more graphic, and then you're in fucking
the stuff you don't find on any of the sites.
Yeah, yeah. Which I find if you get your rocks off, fair enough. But do not give it to me, brother. So we're going to see more of Alfie and Kat just being like, but you look at porn Alfie. I'm like, yeah, he's in a relationship. I know it's hardcore, but like, man's got to do what he's got to do. I want to see that continue. I want to see like, yeah, Brandon's obviously being rejuvenated, which we will see because having Jack just for the past 3 years been like, Jack, we have no rice in the cupboard. We have no pasta. Oh, I guess that that means Amy, Chippy.
Yeah, every time. Like Jack has become a walking meme. Takeaway? Not again. Like, can we get frozen pizza, please? For fuck's sake, I've had enough.
I love him to a sense.
But yeah, like, and I still say, and I still think for me, I'd argue it's quite a bold take. I still genuinely want the Brannings in the Vic. Like, I know it's quite bold, and it's probably not the like blockbuster family you want, but I think it will be a sleeper hit as such because they've done a lot of work to build up Denise to be like, she's not iconic, but she's definitely like, she's slowly going towards there. Because the issue with Denise is she was always just a bit too fucking boring. Like, she was always just a little bit too boring. But now, like, they've given her a lot of really juicy stuff to work with, and she's actually a character who's kind of deserving of like a higher status in the show. But a Beals Vic, maybe, I don't know. Like, I do like how they are changing hands with the Vic though, because the Carters and the Knights, it is time to end it. It truly is. Like, Linda's been in the Vic for the last 12 years now, roughly. It's been like 12 years. We've gone through so many different iterations, and it's naturally time. Like Linda doesn't need the Vic anymore. She did for what she did for the longest time. For a while, she was just Elaine, but now she's kind of just mothering everyone. She is just being everyone's mother, and she suits the role perfectly. And it's a great return to form for a character who, through the alcoholism, they did make her absolutely detestable and really horrendous to watch for a year. But you've done good to like rejuvenate how people view her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just. I wouldn't mind the crime. I do want the Vic to change hands, and I do get excited at the idea of seeing what may happen with the Vic and what may happen with the future. Does Ben Wadey want it more crime centric? Does he want to keep it more of the same? What is their angle for anything? And slowly but surely we'll get a good judge to see what it's like. Because it's not like there weren't issues with the Chris Crenshaw era. There definitely were. Like, it feels like towards the end, we've been circling the same fucking points on the page. Like, there's only so many times you can do the same crossword and get enjoyment out of it. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm just going to deal with this again. What? Oh, so what's next? Elaine and George having marriage troubles. Ah, oh, fuck me. Really? Again? Oh, Cindy and George again. Ah, oh, fucking turn the other cheek, boys. Good Christ. Just circling back on this, are we? Yeah. Well, look, we're just filling the last couple of weeks. Sound. Like a bit more upwards mobility, Can we actually progress the stories here, not just keep having them go through the revolving door?
Just to give my text, I had another point that I lost. I might remember, but on George and Cindy, I would personally just go through it, just have them be together, but show audiences why this doesn't work. Like, you can show, I guess the equivalent I can make is kind of like the Mick Carter and Janine Butcher relationship, where, like, you think George is happy with this, but he just slowly over time is like, Jesus Christ, why did I marry you? Jesus. just you just see him one day, he's having a cup of tea and Cindy's like all happy, like they went 25 minutes last night, 5 rounds, and George is just like, fuck me. What's with the news today? Why do all I see on TV is violence and sex on TV? Oh, but what happened to these good old values that we used to rely on? Just like he's just like fed up with life. Because honestly, if you date Cindy, you probably are.
I don't know why you've just turned the Family Guy intro into your list of things that should change.
I knew you catch that, but like it just he gets fed up. He's just like because obviously Cindy is not a good woman. He's a good man, but she's not a good woman. But it's just and stop doing the are they splitting up? Nah, they're back together. I got you. I've got your nose. I got your nose.
Yeah, it's the old classic. Hey, we're going to tease them getting together. Are they going to get together? No. Well, why the fuck are we wasting our time then? Don't know. It's interesting.
But
Great, cheers.
Cheers
for that.
Just like if you're going to pull the trigger, because the worst thing that can happen, and yes, I know it's filmed like 6 weeks in advance. The worst thing you can do is like, okay, this clearly doesn't work, so we just split them up. And I know it'd be weird, but because you clearly do the first 6 weeks, and then for the next 6 weeks you leave them off there, like you have them obviously like have a point or something, but you have them in the background, and then you just read what people are saying, like if people are going, this is a good idea, it's bad, and then you go, okay, how do we keep doing this? How do we improve it? Instead of just going,
Yeah, it gets at some point it just becomes insufferable.
Yeah, it's just
like, I initially did want this, but now I don't because you just fucking. I get that it's a soap. You want to have foreshadowing, right? But also, just the foreshadowing's only good if you pay it off. So pay it off.
Is it like season 8 of Game of Thrones? That's the real question.
It's not that bad.
Okay. But I do, just rejuvenate like the families as well, especially the Slaters, because we were saying it in the Crenshaw video that we released of the top 5. Positives, if this is out after it.
It should be out after, yeah.
Yeah, that like they really did a good job rejuvenating it, and Ben Whiteley has just got in, dropped like a steamy pile of shit on the floor, and just went deal with that, Chris Crenshaw, because he's just gone. The Slaters are fucking what? Fuck off. Let me. It's winding me up. He knows I'm fat and I can't do much. I was saying it last night. Sorry to derail this, but there was another moth that came in last night, and he flew around here, right? So I obviously did that to like try and get him away. But you know what the smart fucker did, Ash? He went around my chair knowing I couldn't reach around it. He went, "Aha, you're a fat fuck." And imagine being outsmarted by a moth. I don't even know if you can upload that as a short. You can just bleep the word. But yeah, just make the families worth it. Is all I'm gonna say. Like, bring back some more Slaters, please. They've completely abominated the Slaters. Like, because if we're just going off the rumours, Zoe's gonna be there, Kat's gonna be there, Big Mo probably, and potentially Jean and Lily, and that's it. I'm gonna just say potentially Lily because she's probably leaving.
Yeah, who knows if she can stay? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, imagine that. Imagine that is not a Slater household. That is not. No. But I don't know what they'll do. Hopefully Kat gets the house at least, so they don't have to fit like 4 people in the same bedroom.
Hopefully, yeah.
But I think that's all I have on that. Another thing, like I'd just like to see it be, just back to basics. Just go back to basics. Just improve what you have to improve, and then don't improve what you don't have to improve. Maybe don't go back to the original mold where it's like, yeah, this couple worked together 30 years ago, but now it doesn't. But we're going to try and make it work.
Yeah, just generally, there's a lot of like really good pieces to work with that you will be keeping over. So like, don't just throw it all out in the bin, because a lot of the characters are actually quite good, and a lot of potential has been like laid down. But there obviously are going to be characters who won't be as favoured in this era. But still, like, there's a lot of, just don't just tank it completely is my real plea to Ben Wadey. But it's, once again, exciting time. What will EastEnders look like in a year? We can't tell you.
Yeah, and I guess without further ado, that ends it there, I guess. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.